Hello, Internet. This is Whispering Whim bringing you another grocery haul today. If my voice starts to crack, or you can almost hear it right now, I apologize. I was sick earlier in the week and I haven't gotten over it 100%, but this was literally the only day I could record and guarantee that there'd be a video this month. And my guy kind of made fun of me for it. He's like, "You don't have the right priorities." He's like, "Yeah, you need to rest instead of do the video." But I didn't want to leave you guys hanging. So a little bit of backstory. I had a show at the beginning of the month, and I got sick right after the show. Con crud, as my sister-in-laws call it. They have actually taken to wearing the masks anytime they do a convention so that they don't get sick from them. I'm usually more hardy than that, but my time was up. So then I got pretty sick and I kept brushing it off as allergies because I do get allergies and the weather had changed and stuff. And I did my teaching class and I got home from teaching and I was like, oh, I'm definitely actually sick. And I felt so bad that I had, taught while I was under the weather because I didn't want to. Well, anyways, so I'm recovering. I'm feeling a little bit better just in time because in 2 days we're going camping. And not just camping, but it's our yearly trip where we camp with the family, but there's also a craft fair nearby that I do. So it's gonna be a lot of work. I'm hoping I feel, good enough to do it. Okay. Anyways, food. Here's some wheat bread. That'll be for grilled cheese sandwiches and lunch meat sandwiches and all sorts of camping sandwiches. And then we have some sourdough. Some people were telling me after my last video where I was complaining about how I'm not a fan of wheat bread to go ahead and start eating some sourdough bread because it's healthier than white bread. And I was a little surprised at that. And it's not like fantastic, but it is slightly healthier than plain white bread. And I love sourdough, so I got me some of that. And then let's see here. Got a big old container. I'm hoping this will hold up in the cooler. We actually last year bought some Tupperware that snaps, super waterproof, because we found regular Tupperware doesn't seem to handle being in a wet, icy cooler for too long. Like the water starts to seep in. So I may, but there weren't enough of them, I guess is where I was supposed to get at. So what I might do, I'm going to need to use this, put it in a Ziploc baggie on top of being a Tupperware container. I don't know. We'll see. Next up, we have some good old garbanzo beans. I think there should be 2 of those in here. And there are. I'm going to be making some of my red pepper hummus. And that will be a camping treat. While I'm off working, my guy and his sisters, they just chill at the campsite with family and they eat. And I'm the food person in our group, so I put myself in charge of our food. But anyway, so they'll just sit there and eat gobs and gobs of chips and dip, and it's it's almost a bit much. But I'm going to make a double size of the hummus, which is why I had 2 cans. Okay, next up, some tomato sauce. I will be making, for the camp, a 12-bean soup. It might be 15 bean. I don't remember which amount of beans I got. With, smoked ham, and I'm going to make a bone broth with chicken and ham bone. So it should be very tasty and very campy. That'll be good. We got some facial tissues. Some Kleenex would be the name brand. And I got those for obvious reasons. When I was at the height of my illness, I actually went through an entire box of tissues in a day and a half. A day and a half. I could not believe it. It was the weirdest little cold. Like, I don't think it was like as extreme. It wasn't as bad as some of the colds I've had. But it kept morphing because, in the beginning I thought, okay, this is just allergies plus a little bit of soreness because I talk a lot at shows and I don't normally talk a lot in real life or my day-to-day life. There we go. It's all real, I think. So, like, I just live like a little hermit lifestyle when I'm not making videos or selling at shows. So I always get a little bit of a sore throat after a show. So that's all I had. I had like kind of allergy-ish sore throat. And then all of a sudden the sore throat was like painful to swallow. I'm like, oh no. And then that went away like almost completely. Like, I don't know, it's still a little maybe raw, but not bad at all. And then for like a day and a half, it was like I had a fountain going on in my nose. Sorry, we're talking about food. I'll keep this brief. So I did that for a few days, and then it turned into the like stuffy nose kind of a thing and phlegmy coughs, and it's just weird how it kept changing. Okay, hot dog buns. My guy always rolls his eyes at me because I mandate that one night to be a hot dog night. He doesn't really roll his eyes, but he's just like, ugh, because he gets spoiled. I cook for him all the time, and even when I'm in camping, some of the meals I'll make will be medium elaborate. But I insist that we have to have a hot dog night. Not so much for the effort, although it's nice to have an easy dish, but because roasting weenies over the fire, that's like classic camp, shtick. I have to do it every year. Okay, so I got myself 2 individual bags of Lay's potato chips, and somewhere on all of this there's a giant bag of Lay's potato chips, and I swear these 2 bags together cost more than my one giant bag, or about as much. But it's just easier that way. So when I do the show, I usually pack a lunch from within the camp rations, and I take it to the show in a little miniature cooler. And I don't like putting the potato chips in the plastic baggies, like the Ziploc baggies. It's just easier to buy the individuals. Okay. We've got some Cheez-It snack mix, double cheese. It's just kind of a interesting little, it's kind of like, and I have this. It's kind of like Chex Mix, which I have some of as well. And I have Gardettos coming up, but this is for camping, and my sister-in-laws really like this particular blend, so I got it for them. Here we have some marshmallows for roasting over a campfire, and that's another one of those, it more or less still exists because I insist. Like, as far as desserts go, roasted marshmallows don't rank too high on their list, but if they're gonna do it, it has to be s'mores, and that part always drives me nuts because I just want to roast the marshmallows. I don't want to make s'mores. But I spoil them. I can make cookies in a little like cardboard box oven thing that my mom learned how to do from Girl Scouts, and so I bake cookies and stuff, and they just want the not should be at camp food. I spoil them a bit. Okay, we got some Newtons, the strawberry Newtons, so I can't call them Fig Newtons, and that it still gets me every time. I don't know why. And then this I'm super excited for. I was cruising down the baking aisle, not looking for yeast or flour or anything, but somehow I saw this out of the corner of my eye. Instant sourdough. You don't need a starter, apparently, to make sourdough these days. I don't know. I'm flabbergasted by the idea of it. And it doesn't show the recipe. You have to go online. But if I can make this in my bread maker and make genuine fresh sourdough, that is going to be amazing. Absolutely amazing. So I will have to report back on this because I'm very excited to try. I almost grabbed like 5 packets because sometimes when Winco gets a weird thing like this, it doesn't stay on the shelves for very long. Like, there used to be a popcorn that had like freeze-dried jalapenos in it. It wasn't just jalapeno flavored, it had actual jalapenos in it. And it was delicious and spicier than the average jalapeno flavored snacks that I seem to find for my guy. But they had it once and it was gone. And then, like 5 months down the line, they had it again for one trip and then it was gone. So, he's a little suspect. Okay, moving right along. Got some rosemary and olive oil Triscuits. That'll be for the hummus. Pita bread is just, or pita chips is just too expensive, so we're not going down that route. Some yellow mustard for our hot dogs. And some ketchup as well. Can't do it without ketchup. And then, speaking of spoiled, I'm planning on trying to make a dump cake this year for the camping. Now, if you don't know what a dump cake is, it's not dump as in garbage. It is dump as in you just dump the ingredients in. There's no mixing or stirring. It's a can or two of whatever fruit filling you want. I want peach today. And then you put box cake on top, like the dried powder of a box cake on top. And then you would put a few pats of butter on top of that. And then you just bake it. And the sauce from the fruit kind of bubbles up and the butter melts down. And you get sort of like a cobbler out of it. I don't know if my little camping cardboard oven is going to hold up to that much baking. But we're going to try. We're really going to try. Next up, got some white beans. I'm going to make my ever-present white bean chili while we're camping. Camping just seems to go well with beans, so that's what we're going to have. And that's a fairly easy meal, so I'm happy to have 2 easy meals within our camping trip. Some tomatoes. That'll be for my bean soup with the ham. And also some ground oregano. Because I guess, I've never specifically gotten ground oregano, but it's a more standard ingredient in the 12 bean soup that I've always just kind of left out because I don't normally keep it. But why not? It wasn't too expensive, so. All right, there's a bag of potatoes right there. I'm not going to lift them up. And then there's a box of cans of my guy's favorite beer. This is his favorite. He loves this beer. He likes dark beers. But funny story, maybe funny, he prefers it in bottles. Like, hands down. He gets a little, he's usually pretty go with the flow kind of a guy. But when it comes to cans versus bottles for his beer, bottle. But when we go camping, it's so inconvenient because this brand only comes in those, 6-pack carry case type of situations, not a box. So then, and he needs we're going to be gone long enough, he needs 3 of these. So then it becomes a challenge. We're already having a hard time fitting everything in our car because it's camping plus a show. In fact, we've roped my sister-in-laws in to taking some of our stuff up. We do that every year at this point. So they're just inconvenient. It's, the bottles, that is. So I got him cans, and I was like, okay, I got your favorite beer, but it's in cans. And he's just like, all right, well, I guess canned dead guy is better than no dead guy. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's so spoiled. Everybody's so spoiled. Okay. And before I get to the next thing, I should probably just take a deep breath in and release. Because I can hear myself speeding up and up and up and up. And some of that's good for flow. I think that's why these videos have as many viewers as they do, is that like it's very conversational. There's no gaps. But sometimes I can go a little too fast when I have a lot, going on upstairs and trying to get ready for camping and the craft fair, and being a little worried about the fact that I'm obviously still a bit sick. Has me wanting to get through this so I can work on stuff and relax and work on stuff and relax. And I'm like, I need to simmer down. Okay. And ignore the fact that they are once again doing landscaping with leaf blowers. Apartments, man. All right. Over here, we've got a nice crinkly bag, the big bag of Lay's classic potato chips. And it has to be these ones. It has to be Lay's classic when I make onion dip, which is the other dip I'll be making in addition to hummus. It seems to be like my standard go-to pair. But yeah, regular potato chips for the dip. I don't like wavies or off-brands. Like, I'm going to be picky about that. Here is some shorty sausages. This will just be a nice little snack for me at the show, since I can only fit so much in my tiny cooler. And then we have a big old bag of fruit and nut mixes, some trail mixes. This is not for camping. This is just to put in my guys' lunches. I was buying the Hunter mixed nuts, and we love those, but I find that it's good to just swap out the protein source once in a while, so he doesn't get too bored with it. Oh yeah, I forgot I picked these up. So this is for camping, and it is hatch chili cheese flavored peanuts with other chilies and spices. How interesting does that sound? Hopefully, oh, it does say they're pretty mild. I was gonna say hopefully they've got some zing to it, but it sounds like they don't. But I thought this would be a fun thing to add to camping. Why not, right? And now we've uncovered this big old box. This is some more lunch snacks for my guy. Except for I'll probably have one or two of the bugles. I think flavor-wise, bugles are kind of meh. But nostalgia-wise, they're delicious. Because as a kid, and I know lots of kids did this, because they're shaped like a little horn, like a little cornucopia. We put them on our fingers, and then you have claw hands, and then you eat your claws. It's just good childhood classic there. And then there's some Chex Mix and some Gardettos, which they're very similar. The Chex Mix obviously has Chex in it. I think this one's seasoned maybe just a hair differently, but they're very similar products. I'm not sure why you need to have both of them in one variety pack, but I'm not really gonna complain either. Okay. We have a giant Hershey's chocolate bar, and this is going to be for our s'mores. And I think s'mores is a common concept, right? Just in case, because I do have some international listeners. S'more is when you toast a marshmallow over your campfire, and you sandwich it with chocolate and graham cracker, and they're very tasty. But, like I mentioned before, I just want to eat the marshmallows. I don't want the whole s'more. Okay. Next up is some Famous Dave's barbecue sauce. Devil's Spit. Sinfully spicy. And to which my husband would say, not really that spicy, but I like it. He eats so much spice these days. And I'm only encouraging it because now I add more pepper or whatever to his dish so that he can have more heat, but then his tolerance gets even higher, I don't know if he's realized it, but he can eat more spicy food, like an even spicier food than he did when I first started cooking for him. Anyway, this is going to be, among many things, but why I had to get another bottle now is that, so last month I was talking to you guys about the quesadillas, the bacon barbecue quesadillas. They were fabulous. They were wonderful. So much so that I've added them to the camp menu this year. So it's really easy. I sauteed some onions, or no, first I cooked some bacon, and then I sauteed onions in the bacon fat, added jalapeno peppers, and then shredded rotisserie chicken and barbecue sauce, and that was like a filling. And then I made some quesadillas, and before I folded them over, I added some of the filling, and there you go. Bacon barbecue chicken quesadillas. They were very good. Okay. Here we have some circus animal cookies. Nice little camping treat. They don't really need any more treats considering I make them dessert at night, but they've come to associate camping with being overly indulgent, so, I got them cookies. Okay, and here we have some fire start. I love this stuff. It makes making a campfire so much easier. You still stack the wood all proper and get your kindling, right? But this is like it's like a condensed packet of, like, I don't know. If you ever open one up, they're a little greasy, and so I imagine there's like an accelerant in there and maybe like, I don't know, sawdust or something compressed into it. And I can tell you what that feels like because the first time I used this, I hadn't realized the full point of it. So I was breaking up little pieces and putting it in, and it didn't work the best. And then I realized per campfire, you actually use a whole one of these, which seems like a bit much. But we're not. I'm the best fire maker out of the four of us, and I sometimes could use a little help. But no, you just light the edge of this and the paper acts as a wick. And then you get a pretty substantial fire out of it. So, that stuff I like to use. And then we got some Jiffy Pop. This, I think, is another nostalgic thing for me. It seems like a lot of the nostalgia stuff that I associate with family things I don't get to do. I'm with his family, my guy's family, for pretty much every occasion. Christmas and Thanksgiving, and they're lovely people, and I'd actually, most cases, rather spend those holidays with them. But, like, just the little things, you don't realize not everybody does. Like, they hadn't even heard of Jiffy Pop. And if you haven't heard of Jiffy Pop, so it's like a pre-condensed little packet of popcorn. You can hear it rattling around in there, and it's got foil there. And you just take it over the open flame and you shake, 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 and they start popping and you get popcorn. My mom used to always do that. So that's indulgent for me. Here's the cake mix that I'm using for the dump cake. I'm not sure if I'll use all of it for a camp size dump cake because I don't want any leftovers of this. So I might have to use a little bit and then figure out how to finish up the rest of that. Okay, and then we have the Lipton onion soup mix. This is the best way, in my opinion, to make sour cream and onion dip. Definitely way better than the jar stuff. I don't think I've ever tried sour cream and onion dip that was truly made from scratch. I'm not sure how you would even go about that. Although now that thought has occurred to me, I'm kind of tempted to go find a recipe and find out if, like, there's a homemade version that's even better. But when I think of onion dip, the kind made with this is what I think of. Okay, and then we've got graham crackers. Those are for the s'mores. I'm always so sad about the graham crackers because after camping no one seems to eat them. and yet they're mandated. They're mandated. Okay. We've got some dinosaur oatmeal, and it's themed for Easter still. Definitely past Easter, but that was I couldn't find any like summer fall ones. They were just all spring edition. But dinosaur oatmeal. I turned my sister-in-laws onto this. They had never even heard of it. I don't know how they missed this. But because it's been around forever. Not forever, but since I was a kid. It's regular brown sugar oatmeal, but it has these little candy dinosaurs that are covered in basically food grade wax. And the wax kind of looks like a shell, an egg. And then when you add in your hot water and you stir, the wax melts into your food. Kind of gross when you think about it. And it reveals the little dinosaurs, and then the dinosaurs start to melt, and it colors your oatmeal, and it's a lot of fun. And not only did I turn them on to doing it, I also turned them on to doing it the slightly more laborious way, in that if you put in everything all at once, your eggs melt too quickly. I don't like that. So I pull out all the eggs, make the oatmeal, and once it's sort of fluffed up, then I throw on the eggs and start stirring, because you get more of you can actually see the dinosaurs get revealed. The other way, they're kind of already mostly melted into your oatmeal by the time it's ready to eat. Now then, dun dun dun, we have garlic and garlic. If you watched last month, I decided to finally give in and try a jar of garlic. You know, the foodie in me still goes, man, how did I end up with another jar? But, so, I threw it into a couple of recipes. It is not the same. It's not equivalent to cutting up garlic. But I will say, the convenience factor, oh my gosh, it's so high. But also, my guy was really dialing in on the recipes that I was throwing this into. If he enjoys a meal a particular amount, he'll ask me, oh, did you season that differently, or this or that? He tries to engage and be interactive. And every time I threw this stuff into a thing, he seemed to really like it. So, although I don't think it tastes the same as garlic, and I won't use it everywhere, I will adapt to using jar garlic more often. For those who care, my notes on the differences is that, one, this is preserved in citric acid. So, like, the citric acid itself is at least not a bad preservative. It's, vitamin C. But it does add a tanginess, Most recipes could use more tangy in them, honestly. Like, throwing vinegar into a lot of recipes improves them. So it's preserved in citric acid. It has an acidic, just slightly acidic tone to it. But the other thing is that the flavor doesn't mature in the same way, because it's already preserved basically at its young stage. You don't get any roasting out of it. So it's not the same as fresh garlic, because fresh garlic to me is more peppery than this stuff. But it's very halted. I don't think it's as developed flavor-wise, but it still tastes like garlic. It's not like it tastes like something different. And in fact, my guy didn't even know I had switched to jar garlic, because, he's just noticed he liked the flavor of something, and, it's not bad, and I will use it, but it's not the same as fresh garlic. That's me just being pedantic, because I don't know. I have opinions about food sometimes. And here's one little tiny bottle of 2-in-1 shampoo for me to take to camping. I have like those refillable shampoo bottles, but I've lost one of them. And I don't really need my nice shampoo camping. I just need to get the bug spray out of my hair. So I decided to take the easy route and just get one of these little guys. And then following that, we've got some mint Oreo, mint Oreos. I don't know why I thought there was another descriptor in there. Anyway, moving right along, we have some sunflower seeds. For camping, originally I was going to buy yogurt as part of the breakfast offerings. Last year I bought yogurt and it ended up eating up a lot of our cooler space, like too much cooler space really. So after some debate, because I thought about just getting smaller yogurts, because I got the big Chobani ones, are my favorite. And I picked this up thinking I was still going to do yogurt. And this was going to be a yogurt topping. And, all right, throat. We're almost at the end of the video. We can do this. But there was, I don't know, there was just some, drama with breakfast last year in that the yogurts didn't get eaten, and then people were telling me that they didn't like the pastries that I bought. Well, they weren't complaining about the pastries, but they were mentioning the fact that some of the flavors most people didn't care for. So I went on to this like tailspin of what am I going to do for breakfast? And finally I just settled on we're going to do cereal this year. Make life easier. So pick up some milk. I actually haven't bought the cereal because I was still debating it while I was at the store. I was also like still vaguely sick when I went to the store too. I did wear my mask out in public and got some weird looks for it, but yeah, so I think I was starting to really lose my mind by the end of the shopping trip. I will definitely have to go out and pick up a couple of things, but not too much. But I'll have to fit that in between all the other preparations, so wish me luck there. Okay, here we have some little individual packets of coffee. This is for my guy. It used to be that I get these for him and I, but I just don't drink coffee that much anymore. But what was interesting is I ended up going with this Nescafe off-brand because the Starbucks name brand was $8 for, it's like 5 units? Maybe it was 8 units. Not very many. And this was like $5 for 18. So I don't think he needs 18 cups of coffee, but I just couldn't bring it in. I just couldn't pay $2 more for so much less product to buy than the Starbucks one. So hopefully that'll be all right. He doesn't seem to be too picky when it comes to coffee, so probably good. Next up, got some good old curry mix. That'll be one of our dinners when we get back home from camping. Because, you can't just shop for only the camping trip. I think I made that mistake once. And then you get home and you're too tired. You really don't even really want to cook, but much less go shopping and then cooking. So, tried to make sure there were a few easy things ready and available for us when we get back. Here's some tortillas. Those are for the quesadillas that I will be making while camping. And then we have some good old coffee filters. This is just for the household. And here are some croutons. The deli-style croutons are very tasty. I like this brand better than most of the ones I can find, but I only seem to find this one when I go to Winco. So it's kind of interesting how all grocery stores are more or less the same, but they're really not if you start getting used to shopping at one versus a different one. But anyways, moving along. This is our last item that I'm going to pull out, and it is some good old onions. Have so many uses for onions. Gonna put a little bit of them in our quesadillas. There's gonna be some in that bean soup. And I'm making stuffed bell peppers tonight. So there'll be some onion in that. That's just onions everywhere. And yeah, I'm not pulling out any of the cooler stuff, but it's all real basic. Cheese and meat. Is there anything fun in there? I don't think there is. There's like lettuce. Is lettuce fun? There are carrots. Are carrots fun? So yeah, cooler stuff is just gonna stay in the cooler today. Freezer stuff is just freezer bread. I can pull it out. You've seen me have freezer bread before. And then also not pictured because I just don't want to lift it is all our firewood, and there's some more booze, and water, and yeah. That's my grocery trip in a nutshell. Again, I apologize for the voice thing. Hopefully this is better than no video at all, because that's what we were. That's how it was gonna be. Because it's already, as of recording, it's already the 11th, and I don't get back from camping until I don't know, the 19th, 20th, something like that. And then I have a class, and I just it had to be today. Had to be today. Okay. So now that we're at the end of the video, it is shout out time. We got lots of people to shout out this time. Lots of people talkings. Let me switch this here. Boop doop doo. Okay. So, thank you to Allison Comley 2278, Hot Sauce 188, Traby Maybe at 3676. Worm 8909. Oh, they've added numbers to everybody. Okay, I thought that was because Hot Sauce 188 was always Hot Sauce 188. Just another YouTube thing. I know they were rolling out those special handles so that people can at their friends in comment sections and stuff. I don't think every social media needs to be like every other social media, but that's just me. So we have Worm, Hannah Salvador, Dulce Crystal, Max, Nun Nun. Yeah, I think that's Nun Nun. And Amy Grace. We'll end there. So thank you guys for commenting and for sharing my excitement about the 500 subscribers. Fun little... I don't know if I mentioned this while I was recording the 500 subscriber video. I know it was on my mind, but I don't remember if I said it out loud. Is that I did a celebration video for 400, right? And I don't know, I was like really ready and excited for 400. So I had recorded the video and I was waiting until I hit 400 before posting it. And then I posted it right at 400 and I lost subscribers that day. So I was a little nervous, and I waited until I was at 505 before I posted it, but I just got more people. I didn't lose people. One of those funny little things. Okay. Now I think I'm going to go ahead and give my throat a rest, and maybe the rest of me a rest once I put all this away. I made quite the mess today. Quite the mess. Okay. Anyways, thank you guys so much for all your support, your comments, your good vibes and all of that. And hopefully next month will be much more chill and relaxing. Nighty night.